Hey everyone, welcome back to another video at Hugo on AI, and today we're looking at how we can make AI our superpower. That is, if you learn what I'm going to tell you right now. So, it's scary. AI's come along, it's knocking at the door of all our jobs. Is it going to take all our jobs? Is it going to disrupt all our markets? What's going to happen? It's uncertain times. But we can't control the future. What we can control is now. And now is the time to learn this technology, to make sure you stay ahead of the game, make sure you stay ahead of the next person, because if there's another person learning this technology, then you may lose your job to them. The important thing that you need to know now, this technology is amazing. It has come along and it is allowing us to free up our time. All those things that we hate doing when we go to work, copying, pasting, sorting out stuff, repetitive tasks, processes that we needed to complete manually, all that stuff can now be quite easily automated using AI. And what does that give us? That gives us loads of time. Time that we can invest in ourselves, time that we can focus on being creative and bringing value out of ourselves, not just doing stuff that is meaningful, but actually doing stuff that brings value and meaning to our lives, which is really important. Okay, the first thing let's cover is what LLMs are. Large language models are the foundation of AI. This is where companies like OpenAI and Google, Gemini, and Grok at x.com, they create these models, they train them on as much data as they can get, and then these models have loads of technology in them which allow you to question them and get great output based on whatever they've learned. It's an amazing technology. And these are what I like to refer as the operating systems of AI. They're humming away, but you need to interact with them. And to interact with them, you need applications. And we're going to cover off a few ways of understanding what applications are available to you to interact with these brains, these AI brains. So the first one is standalone chatbots. Now, everyone will know what a chatbot is. Do you remember when something called ChatGPT came along a few years ago? And look where we are now, right? There's ChatGPT, there's Gemini, there's Grok, there's Claude, there's loads, and these are all AI chatbots. They have advanced functionality. They multimodal, which means that you can speak to them with voice, text, images, all sorts of things, and they're just amazing. And this is a broad spectrum way of interacting with the brain, the AI brain, the LLM model. If you open up ChatGPT, you can have a look, and there's different, these O4, O4 Mini, O3, there's different types of models. These are all the different models that they've trained that you can interact with, and you interact using the AI chatbot. And there's unlimited ways that you can interact with it. You can ask it to summarize stuff, write things, you can bounce ideas, you can code within the chatbot itself, and you can do image generation, movie generation, whatever it is, you can do it through there. So I'd say it's the broadest application of AI is through these chatbots. Next is AI functionality built into applications. So when you're using something like Gmail, you could have the AI running Gemini on the side, and it allows you to interact with your email. Or did you know that Gmail was already running machine learning and AI a long time ago in their algorithms in the back end? So just the chatbot functionality has allowed you to use Gen AI, which is the modern form of AI, to go through your emails and do all sorts of things. Then there's Copilot, which is built into the Microsoft product range, which you can interact with spreadsheets and the data within your spreadsheets, generating queries, that kind of stuff. You can use it in Word to create documents and all sorts of things, presentations and whatever it is you can use Copilot for, as well as in GitHub you can use it for coding. So there's these features that are built into the applications that you can use, which are AI related. Thirdly, there are task specific AI applications which have specific capabilities They're not like general purpose AI capabilities. They are very targeted. One might be Cursor, which is an AI IDE, which allows you to code as if you're talking in English, which they say English is the new coding language, the most popular, the hottest coding language on the market, because now you can code by interacting with an LLM through one of these development IDEs. You can just go, create me an application that does X, Y, and Z, and it goes away and it builds it for you, and you can interact with it, and it builds this application out as you talk to it in English. And you can code in it as well. Then you get something like Grammarly, which helps you to write better English, and that's also an AI capability, but it's very targeted at helping you write English. And there's loads all over. There's different applications. It's easy to get overwhelmed with all the applications that are available to us. So it's up to us to pick the best ones. By the way, please like and subscribe, because I'm going to be taking you on this journey. I'm going to do loads of tool reviews. I'm going to help you pick out the tools that you need to know about in this AI game. Next, have you heard of prompt engineering? Prompt engineering is really key to mastering AI, because these large language models are trained on so much data, everything, books, whatever, all the books in the world, all the information on the internet, they are trained on. So when you query it, you want really a specific slice of information in all that information, then you have to be very targeted in the way that you ask for the information. And that's how prompt engineering works. Or if you wanted to create something with you, you have to be, imagine all the options that it has to create something. If you aren't very specific about what's in your mind and inputting that into the LLM, you're not going to get something that you want out of it. You have to talk to it in a way that's very specific to get the information that you want back in the way that you want it. So you can imagine, with everything being driven from AI, how important is it with whichever tool that you use to ask the right question to get the right data back. Prompt engineering is a science in itself, and it goes really deep. So I'm going to give you some basics here just to get you started. Number one, be specific. Use clear verbs and define your goal. For example, you could say, write me a personal, easy to follow tutorial on how to learn to be an effective prompt writer for everyday AI tasks. Just imagine, you can design your own course for yourself. And then you can have a look at the course and see if it's written in a way that you like it, and you can tailor it. No, I don't like this. I need to do this. You can have that conversation, but the first time you ask for it, be specific on what you want. Also give it some context. So give it some background, like, are you a beginner? Are you intermediate? Are you an expert? Because that will help it understand where you are in terms of learning that skill, or whatever it is that you want. Give examples. If you have examples of what you've produced before that you wanted to be similar to, you could upload some files or pictures, whatever it is, and also set the tone of it. So also you can adapt the task. As I said before, you can interact, be iterative, talk to it, be specific the first time, and then bounce ideas off it until you get to the point that it has satisfied your requirement. Those are the key three things I'd say for you to take away now. Be specific, give context, and adapt to the task, and be iterative with it. Once you have figured out how to be a great prompt engineer, you're going to up your game big time. Just remember, that's a key skill right now. Learn how to prompt, keep practicing at it, make sure that you're not just giving a little bit of information. The bigger the prompt, the better. And you can always upload supporting documentation. Let's say if it's like you wanted to write in your style, you can update, if you've done some past essays or written some blogs, you can upload that to say, learn from my writing style and write in the way that, that is that I like to write in. So next, business intelligence. If you've got a lot of data and you don't know what to do with it, just feed the data into AI, and you can ask questions of the data. So before, you might have had to write complicated queries in Excel or whatever it is that your data's in. Now you can just point your data at the AI and you can ask questions of it. There are specific tools, or you could use the chatbot, or you could use Copilot in Excel but start using this to understand data. It's very good at that kind of thing. Don't spend ages trying to do it yourself. Feed it into the AI and let it help you understand your data. Just remember, be very careful where you're uploading your data. Be conscious. If you are uploading sensitive data to a public chatbot, there are risks associated with that data leaking out. If it's your company data, make sure you have consent. If it's your personal data and you are worried about it being leaked to the internet, don't put it on a public chatbot. Just be conscious about these kind of things. You can run these LLMs locally on your computers if you've got a powerful computer. That way it's staying on your computer and you're not having to upload it on the internet. And we can cover that off in a future video. If you're interested in that kind of thing, do hit us up in the comments below so we can figure out if we're going to create a video like that in the future for you. And by the way, if you do add comments, I promised you I will reply to every comment. And I'd love to hear your feedback and your thoughts and any ideas that you have for future videos. So please do leave your thoughts below. Lastly, before we close off, these chatbots are highly intelligent, and some of the later models you can do deep research where they can go away and study the internet, all like papers, benchmarks, case studies, emerging trends from trusted sources. So this thing can go away and do a whole lot of research it might have taken you a week to do on your own. These are built in. If you go into chatbot, have a look for deep research and then just feed in that great prompt and then it'll go away and do that deep research. There's also AI reasoning that goes beyond surface level statistics, and it connects all the dots and patterns, stuff that you might miss. It can even simulate different scenarios. That's just amazing technology at your fingertips. So do have a look at this stuff, figure out how you can use it. There's lots of great ways that you can start leveraging AI to become the best version of yourself right now. Let's not worry about the future. Let's just focus on now. Let's just focus in on becoming the best version, getting the superpower and getting ahead. I hope you found that useful. Do hit us up in the comments below. Let us know if there's anything you'd like me to focus on. And hopefully there's some takeaways in there for you. And I look forward to catching up with you in the next video. Bye for now.